So as someone who has worked in Hawaii for over 10 years, I just wanted to offer some advice on what to look for in a job if you're looking for a job, particularly here in Hawaii. I know the temptation is to try to make the most amount of money, try to make choke money, but I found that there's actually other things to consider, especially if you're living here, just because of how things are. And more recently, it seems like employers are looking for employees. There's a recent news article that asked, where have all the workers gone? And it interviewed local employers, local businesses trying to hire people. However, I wish that they interviewed local employees, people who are looking for work, and asked them what they're looking for. And so I just want to offer my opinion on what an employee would look for in a good workplace in Hawaii. And let me know what you think are some important things that you should look for in an employer in the comments below. Hey, but just don't put state employee because they get plenty of vacation and sick days, yeah? Hello from Hawaii. Now I know you may be thinking money first, but like I said, it's not just about the money. To me, the most important thing to look for in a job in Hawaii is a good boss. And it doesn't matter ethnicity, if they're white or Japanese or Hawaiian. Doesn't matter if they went public school or private school. Doesn't matter if they went to college at UH or on the mainland. And while it's tempting to think of a good boss as someone who's just super chill and just lets everything go, to me it's actually a sign of weak leadership. So first, a good boss sets the tone of the work culture, not just by establishing rules, but by actually putting in some of the hard work. I mean, to me, I want the boss in there when I'm in the office, and I want them to understand and know what it's like to work as hard as everyone else. It was like my coach back in high school. For all of the running drills and weightlifting, my coach was in there lifting and running with us. So I knew that he knew what it was like to go through what we're going through. And you can bet as a high school student, I can appreciate that. And even now, I appreciate a boss who gets in there and does what everyone else does. The second thing is a good boss challenges you, but makes sure to support you along the way. Now, I've learned that when you often get hired for your job, you're usually not qualified for that job. You just have the potential for that job. So you don't have all the skills that you need yet, but that you can learn that over time. And so to me, a good boss will ensure that you're challenged, that you have stuff that you've never maybe done before, and you can try to learn some of those things on your own. But a good boss also makes sure to have supports there for you. And sometimes that support comes in the form of showing recognition or encouragement on the job. Like there's this time where I was doing this report and my boss just wrote a little note and he just said, "Great job, Chris." And man, let me tell you, that felt amazing. He didn't have to give me more money. That just motivated me during a time when, man, it was getting pretty tough. I was working some late nights. And the third sign of a good boss to me is they try to make things as fair as possible. And I know this is hard in Hawaii because everybody knows everybody and you don't know who's hiring who because, well, they could be someone's nephew or niece, and that's just how sometimes things go. And some people just get special favors for whatever reason. But I think a good boss makes sure to at least spread out some of those favors so that everyone feels like they get a little bit of something. Now, the second most important thing to look for in a job in Hawaii, I know it's not pay, hold on, we'll get there, is trying to find a job that fulfills you in some way. I think there has to be some part of the job that you genuinely enjoy. Like the job or the workplace has to be interesting to you, especially if you're gonna last for a long time. So I'll give you two examples. When I worked at the Pearl Harbor shipyard, when I first started working there, I had this desk job that, yeah, it was okay, but I absolutely hated it. It was so boring, I did the work fast, and I just didn't feel valuable as an employee. So I asked to be switched, and they switched me to the public affairs office. It was perfect for me. Absolutely great bosses who taught me a lot of things, but also let me kind of go on my own and figure things out and pursue the things that I found interesting. They gave me a list of articles that they wanted me to write by the end of the summer. And they didn't say what order, they didn't say when I had to do it by, just get them done. And having that flexibility and freedom as an employee was amazing. I could just take my time and kind of just look at what I was interested in and figure things out as I go. And frankly, I loved being there. I remember when work would end in the afternoon, I was like, oh, I gotta go home? I mean, really, how many employees say that about their workplace? Another job that I had was when I worked at Summer Fun. I was a Summer Fun counselor here. And I remember when we went to the training, the director said, you know, this is gonna be the best job that you've ever had in your life. And I was thinking, bad, no way. Summer fun job? I mean, come on, just watching kids, right? But I gotta say, after that summer, it was actually one of the best jobs I ever had. Working with the kids, working with the other student leaders, and working with the other summer fun counselors was an amazing experience. I mean, I had never done anything like that before, watching kids for that long. And I had 3 really good junior leaders who showed me kind of what to do. And of course, the director was very supportive. She was encouraging, and she really helped me out with some lesson plans and some games so that my kids just didn't play sham battle the whole time. And so all that to say, I think you gotta enjoy where you work, and I think you gotta enjoy at least one aspect of your job. It doesn't matter what it is that you're doing. Again, I worked as a custodian before at a zoo, wasn't making a lot of money, but I enjoyed the job. I enjoyed the people, and that's what made me wanna come back each and every day. Because if you gotta drive all the way from over there into town every day, battling the traffic, and then you gotta fight all the way back, I figure you should at least work at some place that you like. And I know not everyone gets to pick a job that they enjoy. Sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do. But I think it's important that even in those types of jobs, you just find 1 or 2 things that you really enjoy. All right, now let's finally talk about pay. And I purposely put this at the bottom of my list because I do think that it's, out of the 3 things, it's the least important long term. And when it comes to pay, I think a lot of employers also get this wrong. They think that to entice employees, they gotta somehow pay them plenty of money. And maybe sure, to get them in the door, maybe you gotta give them bonus incentives. But I think in the long term, that extra money, if you don't have a good boss or you don't have a fulfilling workplace, they're just gonna end up leaving anyway. Because for me, there's gotta be more than just the money. Other benefits also count. And benefits don't just include pay or compensation or vacation or medical. I mean, those are important too, but there's other benefits that are also equally important, such as quality of life, like not having a long commute to work. I still remember those days when I used to live back home with my parents in Kaneohe, driving every morning before 6 o'clock into town so I don't have to deal with traffic, and then after work, battling all the cars, trying to get back on the freeway and go up Like, go up through Kalihi. By the time I got home, I was so exhausted. And then of course, there's remote work, which gives people the opportunity to work from home and spend more time with family, cutting out commute time completely. And for someone with kids, that's huge. It gave me a lot of time to spend with my sons before now one starting preschool and the other one gonna start school eventually. And so yes, pay is important. People are attracted to big salaries. But to me, there are a lot more important things that can make a job attractive if you want to talk about compensation and benefits. So I'm really fortunate for where I am and where I work. I'm at a job in Hawaii that provides all 3 of these things, and that's why I've stuck around for as long as I have. I'm sure I could go out and get a lot more money doing a similar type of job, but I don't know if it could provide a good boss or a fulfilling job or pay and benefits that benefit my family in this current season. And from an employer standpoint, I'm sure that they would love employees that stick around, that are hardworking and loyal, and that want to be there each and every day. And it's hard because looming over everyone is a high cost of living, and so pay becomes this underlying motivating factor for work. But I hope that they understand that employees are looking for more than just a big paycheck. There's other things that can attract quality employees to an employer, to a local business, besides just plenty of money. And I look at my dad as an example of this. He's worked at the same job for over 40 years. He's had good bosses, but he primarily kind of works for himself in a way. And over the years, he's been able to find ways to make his work interesting again for him. To the point, honestly, I think he'd pretty much work for free if he could. And in terms of pay, I don't think my dad has ever known how much he's actually earned. Several times he's told me that, yeah, he just works and my mom just deals with the money. And so I think for my dad, as long as it was enough to cover our expenses, he didn't really care. And to this day, I still think he doesn't know how much he makes a year. And so to me, my dad is blessed that he's been able to have a job like that over the years and provide for us, because we've had plenty of time as a family. He's been able to get out of work to spend time with us, to take us to do things, to go to sports activities and events. Not a lot of jobs have that flexibility, and so I'm really thankful looking back now. And currently, I'm in a position where I kind of can do the same thing. I have that flexibility to be there for my kids in this season, and especially at this time in my career, those are opportunities and things I can never get back. I can always make more money, but I can never get back those moments with my family. So, hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and